Welcome to Learn the Click. My name is Dandy Elebila, your coach here on Learn the Click. On this episode on Learn the Click, I'm going to be showing you all you need to know about your Windows desktop. As a beginner, the first thing you need to get used to on your system is the Windows desktop, that we also call Windows background, the desktop. It can as well be called Windows background. So today on this episode, I'm going to be showing you every basic things you need to understand about the desktop. Now, note that when you start your system, your computer will perform a function that is called booting. What is booting? Booting is when your system have to prepare itself and make itself available for use. When the booting process is completed, you're automatically provided with a beautiful background, which is called the Windows background. That is what we call desktop. This Windows background can serve as a storage place, even as it also appears to be a place on your system where common items are located for your quick access. Most especially the items that you will need to work with at every given time. Items that you commonly or frequently work with. Alright, now let's look at what the desktop is like. Now, when your system has done booting and you are taken to this beautiful background, what are the basic things you may likely find on the desktop background? Now, as you can see, right behind me, there's a screen right behind me. As you can see, all the items you see on this screen, even though the screen looks a little bit congested, because I have so much right on the desktop. So as it is right now, this indicates that my system is ready and available for use. Until your desktop is being prepared, until your system is ready for use, you may not have this desktop background. But as soon as you have this desktop background, then you know that your system is ready for use. So what are the useful things we can find on our desktop background? Now, first thing you should look out for on the desktop background is the mouse pointer. The mouse pointer is a tiny arrow object that moves around your screen whenever you move the mouse. Whenever you move your mouse, the mouse pointer moves around your screen, indicating items that are highlighted. Now, what is the major thing you do with the mouse pointer? Now you know you have your mouse. You know you have your mouse, the handheld device of your system. Now, with the mouse, your mouse has two major buttons, the left buttons and the right button. The left button and the right button. This button perform different functions. Now, but before you use the button, you must also get to know that the pointer had to point at something before the button can actually perform their function. For instance, on just the background where there is no items right here, now if I click, as in pressing the left button, nothing appears to happen on the screen. But if you right click, something happens. right now, I've just right-clicked. But if you just click on the screen, nothing happens. All right? Now, this pointer, when you move it and use it to touch, when you touch an item with the pointer, that item shows a highlight, indicating that these items you just hovered now is highlighted. You can see the importance of the pointer. You use it to point at, it has an edge, an apex. The extreme top edge is where exactly you use in pointing at items. So when you use that edge to point at something, it automatically highlights. Just for example now, if I move, there's an icon named untitled here. When you just move your pointer to it, then automatically it becomes highlighted. Then whatever you want to do with that item, then you can go ahead and do it. That is the first thing you should look out for. So if you move your mouse on your desk, if you move your mouse to the left, you see the pointer move to the left. You move it to the right, the pointer move to the right, and every other direction you move the mouse, the pointer move same direction. All right. The next thing you need to also understand on your desktop is icons. Icon. But when there are many, becomes icons. What is the function of icons? Icons are tiny objects that appears on your screen representing items on your system. Some represent programs, some represent files, some represent folders, and there are some that represent places on your system. So icons. Now, as you can see on the screen, every object you see here are what we refer to as icons. Each and every one of them represent one thing or the other. So, how do you identify those that represent files and those that represent programs and also those that represent folders? Now let's take a close look on our screen. Now, all these icons on the screen, if you look at them closely, you discover that there are some of the icons that take a look and a shape of a normal folder. Some of them appears to be partially opened, and some of them will even indicate that there are content inside of them. Those are icons that represent folders. Those are places either created by the programmers or the users in order to store files. That's understood. Like I just hovered an icon representing a folder called printer. Now, if you look a little closely too, you will find that there are icons that represent programs. Now, any icon that represents programs will carry the emblem, the logo of such a program. For instance, icons that represent CorelDRAW. As you can see on the screen, there's an icon that is representing CorelDRAW. It automatically carries the logo of CorelDRAW and the name of the program. So icons that represent programs will carry the emblem of the program and the name of the program. For instance, CorelDRAW on this screen right now, you can see Corel 17, CorelDRAW X7 is carrying the emblem of the particular version of CorelDRAW and its name. So this is an icon representing a program. Then you also have icons representing Microsoft Word and every other applications on your system. So that is how we can identify icons that represent programs. Now, icons that represent files. How do you also identify icons that represent files? Now, files could be system files or users file. System file can be files that programmers have programmed for one purpose or the other on your system and may be located on your desktop. While users files are files that are created by the user, you yourself. When you create a file with the help of any application, you can decide to store them on the desktop background so that you can have quick access to them. But note that such files cannot be confidential files, because whoever gain access to your system, immediately the system is done booting, those files will be displayed on the screen, so anybody can open it at any given time. So icons that represent files automatically will carry the name that the user has given to the file, but also carrying the logo of the application through which that file is being created. For instance, a file that is created from CorelDRAW will carry the emblem of CorelDRAW, as you can see right on this screen, the emblem of CorelDRAW, but a name that the user has given to the file. Now, as you can see here, we can see Taskbar sticker. Taskbar sticker. That is the name that the user has given, but the icon is showing the logo of CorelDRAW, which indicates that this file was created from CorelDRAW. If you also take a look right on this screen, I just hovered an icon now representing a file called, a document rather, called the Dragon Tail. Now, this is carrying the emblem of Microsoft Word, but carrying the name the user has given to the file. But this indicates that this file was created from Microsoft Word. That is how we can identify icons and what they represent. Now quickly, let's go to the next thing we're going to talk about here is the taskbar. Let's quickly look at the taskbar. Now, the taskbar is usually located at the extreme bottom of your desktop. Now, the function of the taskbar is to accommodate most especially your start button. Now, the icons you have on your desktop provided you with shortcut access to whatever they represent, shortcut access to all that they represent. But if you want to follow the normal procedure of opening a file or opening a program, you have to go through the start button. So the start button is located at the extreme left of your taskbar. Then you also have icons representing places, folders, programs right on your taskbar. For instance, you have Internet Explorer, you have File Explorer, you have Firefox, you have CorelDRAW, and so many other icons right there. Now, if you move to the extreme right end, you'll find some other programs like Date and Time, where you can easily set your date or set your time. And you have indicators for some devices that are available on your system, such as the sound, your speaker, which indicates either your speaker is active or not. Then you also have your internet connector, your Wi-Fi, that indicates or that can help you connect to the internet, your Wi-Fi. Then also you have the battery indicator, shows you when your system is charging. That is where you know if the system is plugged to light, or to help you know the level your battery is right at every given time. So that is the taskbar. That is the taskbar. Now, to open the icons on the taskbar, all you do is click once. For instance, I just click on Microsoft Excel once, and as you can see, Microsoft Excel is opened. Now, I've come to File Explorer. Immediately I click File Explorer once. Automatically, you just wait a little while, then File Explorer opens. So icons located on the taskbar, you only need to click them once. Then they automatically activate whatever they represent. Now, if you come to Start button, the Start button is carrying the emblem of your operating system. It's showing, in fact, we call it Windows icon, the Windows icon. So it now depends on the version of the Windows operating system that you are using on your system that determine the kind of emblem that the Start button carries. But it carries the emblem of the current Windows operating system your system is using. So right now we're working with Windows 8. So you can see it's carrying the emblem of Windows 8. Then if you look at on your keyboard, you also find that there is a key on your keyboard that is called the Windows key. This key can be used to activate. Immediately you press that key, it can be used to activate the Start button and automatically take you to the Start menu. But you can as well use your mouse. Just hover the Start button, click on it, automatically it takes you to your Start menu, where you can now browse, look for whatever program you want to work with at that given time. Now, one last thing I want you to understand with icons on the desktop. Icons on the desktop serve as shortcut tools to whatever it is they represent, be it file, program, or folders. So how do you activate them? Remember, touching the icons with your mouse pointer. When you touch the the icon with your mouse pointer, you have just hovered. Now you need to click once to select. You can see now I have clicked, and even though I move my mouse away from the icon, it still remains highlighted. Simply indicate that this icon is being selected. So whatever command you activate now will affect that icon. So you click on icon once on the desktop to select the icon. So you click this once and it is selected. You click this once and it is selected. But now, if you don't click and you just hover it, immediately you move your mouse pointer away from it, it becomes deactivated. But when you move your mouse pointer to it, it becomes active. So if you hit the enter key now, automatically it opens whatever it represents. Okay? Now, you can right click on icons also to get a fly out menu or a pop-up menu where you can now check to indicate what you want the system to do with this icon. Mind you, there are a lot you can do with icons on your desktop. So if you want to know what you can really do with the icons on your desktop, just right click one of them and you are provided with options, a pop-up menu where you now find you have open, edit, new, print, open with, and so many other commands. We'll get to understand more about those commands as we continue in this training. Now, you can as well double click an icon to activate it. As you can see, I just double click this icon representing a file created from Microsoft Word, and automatically that file has opened. I'll just close it. I can as well come to this folder and double click, and instantly the program, the folder opens. But when you right click, it provides you with options and asking what exactly do you want to do. Do you want to copy? Do you want to cut? Do you want to open? Do you want to send it somewhere? And what have you. Okay, one last thing I also wanted to get familiar with in today's episode is that you can also use the mouse pointer to perform what is called mark selection, to perform what we call contiguous selection. And through a mark method. So if you move your mouse pointer somewhere up here, then you press the left button on your mouse, then hold it and drag across the icons, and you find the icons selected. So whatever action you perform now will automatically affect all the selected icons. So if you have some specific icons, maybe you want to do away with, you want to delete them, or you want to move them, you could just move your mouse pointer somewhere around it, click and drag across, as you can see. Then those you move the pointer across will automatically be selected. So you can move it. You can just click any of the icon within the selected within that selection, and just move it to any location of your choice. You can see it has automatically been rearranged. So which means we can delete, rearrange, move, open, copy, and so many, and we can perform so many other functions with the icons on our desktop. I hope you have a wonderful time on this training. I hope to see you in the next or subsequent episode. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so as to gain access to subsequent episodes on Learn the Click. Till I see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.